How to Train Your Dragon 3 The Hidden World. This is the finale to my How to Train Your Dragon series of reviews, and man, I was so happy I rewatched this one because I actually really enjoyed this movie. And honestly, so quick backstory. I really loved the first two movies, and when this one was coming out, I was incredibly excited about it. They actually did an early screening for it. I remember going to it, and I was hook, line, and sinkered into every trailer for this movie. I was just ready for it. I gotta say, do not watch the How to Train Your Dragon trailers before you watch the movie. They are some of the worst trailers for animated movies I've ever seen because they literally spoil every plot point in these movies. At least the ones for the second and third one. And I don't know why they do that. Like, from the trailers, you know that Hiccup says goodbye to Toothless, and it's like, come on, really? They find the hidden world, that too, just all this stuff. Like, it's just like spoiling all that stuff. In the second movie's trailer, they show that Hiccup meets his mom in the trailer. It is like, it's a plot point that doesn't even come until halfway into the second movie, and they show it in the trailer. Very bizarre. But yeah, this movie, when I went to go see it, I honestly was very disappointed by it, and I've just kind of like sat with that disappointment. I've tried rewatching it a couple times, just didn't really care for it. One thing that really bugged me about this movie is the humor, and watching it this time, I love this movie. I think it's great. The animation is pretty as always, but it's some of the best it's ever looked because, of course, this movie came out in 2019, so they've really upped their game. The score is fantastic as always. All these movies have incredible scores. But I do have problems with the movie. In fact, we'll just get those out of the way real quick. I think the humor is still a problem in this movie. There is one specific scene where I think the humor actually did work, and that is Roughnut being captured because they played on the fact that she was annoying, and the villain used her annoyingness to get to our heroes, and that scene really worked. But other than that, most of the humor in this movie is really bad. And to be fair, it's kind of bad in all the movies. But this one, it seems like they've upped the amount of humor. I wonder if that's because, if you really watch the second one, it's kind of a much darker film. And I wonder if the heads at DreamWorks were like, okay, we went a little too far in with the second one. I don't think they did, but I could see how some families might think that. And maybe they were worried about getting some more complaints about that. Anyways, so they dialed it back a little bit, right? With some humor in here. But it's really annoying, and some of the humor is just like gross to me. Like, why is Snot Loud into Hiccup's mom? The age gap between these characters is ridiculous. I know it's just played off as a gag, but it's gross. Like, let's not even apply this. Like, gross. And I know the other characters think it's gross, but it's still like, I don't know, if you have to, if the only way you can make something work is by portraying it as gross, even in a joking sense, then why is it just even here? Like, I don't know. But other than that, I thought this was other than that, this movie's really solid. First of all, the villain in this movie is the best of the entire trilogy. I used to actually not feel that way, but honestly, Grimmel is so good. He's intense. The voice acting is so good on his character. His design, the way he tracks and outsmarts the heroes at every minute. And really, Hiccup would have died in this movie if it weren't for the Light Fury. This is a real threat. There's, like, you get the sense that he could have caused real harm. And then, I really love all the flashback scenes with Stoic. They're all beautiful moments. And just the beautiful conclusion of just Hiccup saying goodbye to the dragons and everybody kind of moving on with their lives and what all that means. It was just so beautiful and impactful. It's one of those hard endings of a trilogy where you just never want to see that happen. I know that in one of the holiday specials they did after this movie, there's a subplot about Hiccup's daughter not really liking dragons and stuff. I think there's ways to continue this franchise, but however, would I really care for that? No, I want this just to end here, just be the beautiful story that it is, and not really have more. It could have more, and it would be wonderful to see more, but it's. I think we're good. I think we have enough of this franchise. It's so beautifully well done. I know we're looking at getting a live action remake, but these are perfect as animated movies. That's just a disgusting idea if you ask me, but we'll see.